Okay, all right. Going from methadone to Suboxone, okay? I've done it before, and there's some things that you kind of need to be aware of and things to watch out for, because it can suck. It can really, really suck, and it sucked for me. It sucked for me because it just did. Even though I knew I had a plan and it was a good plan, it still backfired. It still wasn't good, and I'll tell you why. First of all, if you haven't ever gotten on Suboxone before, like for instance, years ago when I got on my Suboxone program the first time, okay, years ago I was taking morphine, fast acting stuff like morphine and oxy and stuff, okay. Before I went in there, they're like, you need to kind of like be in withdrawal when you come in, and then we're going to give you the Suboxone. So I went way too far. I mean, I was like, I stopped taking stuff for 2 days. I was in absolute hell. And what was really fun is I had to wait in the waiting room for like 2 hours before I even got any Suboxone, because it was a pill mill and they did Suboxone too. And so yeah, oh, that was terrible. That was freaking terrible. You think after all that experience I wouldn't have relapsed and stuff, but I did, because us addicts can be really smart sometimes. Anyway, so that's the deal. Yeah, if you've never gone on Suboxone before, that's usually the drill, okay? Is you kind of get feeling uncomfortable, you get withdrawing, you get the sweats going and stuff, and then you take your Suboxone. Okay. Well, if you take methadone, you probably have figured out that it is a very, very long half-life. This is not a fast-acting opioid at all. It's a very long-lasting opioid. It really clamps down on you, as is Suboxone, okay? Suboxone has a very long half-life as well. Probably very similar. I don't know if one has a slight edge than the other. I would guess that Suboxone probably has a slight edge as far as the length of the half-life, but I don't know that for sure. So anyway, so when you go from, oh, this sucks. A little something in there. Anyway, okay. Dang it. So yeah, going from methadone to Suboxone, obviously you're going to want to be feeling uncomfortable before you take the Suboxone. Okay, like the second time I got on the Suboxone program, I was taking lots of methadone. And I knew, I was like, oh man, I was nervous. And I couldn't find anything else. Couldn't find anything else to switch to for a few days and then get on the Suboxone. This is just what it was. And anyway, so I got my appointment lined up, and I stopped taking methadone for 2 days. Starting to feel some stuff, I didn't taper or anything like that too. So, it was really going to take a while for this stuff to get out of my system. And oh man, so I waited 2 days, not feeling great. They give me Suboxone. I go home and I'm sitting there and I'm slowly feeling worse, but not well, obviously not bad enough, because I finally get to the point where I'm like, okay, I got to take some Suboxone. So I take my Suboxone, and guess freaking what? Precipitated withdrawals. Well, precipitated withdrawals are just, they're freaking withdrawals, except for it goes from 0 to 60. I mean, it goes just from, well, I was feeling a little uncomfortable. I guess it wasn't like absolute 0, but it would have been though if I would have been high on methadone and then taken Suboxone. Oh man, it would have been from 0 to 60. But anyway, I freaking went into precipitated withdrawals, and it sucked. Obviously, it sucks, and what really makes it suck is, it was the first time that had ever happened to me, and I was like, dude, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? So I actually called my doctor's office, and I was like, telling them what's up, and whatever, and they're just like, take more Suboxone. And yeah, they prescribed me 32 milligrams of Suboxone. Actually, both times I went in. And so anyway, like first program, second program, both times 32 milligrams. And so then I took another strip. But I was leery. I was like, dude, I don't want to take more of this. Then I took a third strip. Then I took a fourth strip eventually. And eventually it leveled off. It took probably, that rest of that day, that night, I think it really started to get better the next day. I started to just kind of even out. So the moral of the story is, if you're going from methadone to Suboxone, you need to freaking wait a good while, because, man, and I don't even know. I don't know. Try to go 3 days, even 4 days if you can. Seriously, go 72 hours at least would be my recommendation, because I went 48 hours and it didn't freaking work. Now, Having said that, everyone, you know, I always get people like, well, no, that's not right because this happened to me. Okay, I'm generalizing here. Everyone's metabolisms are a little bit different, and you know, how much methadone are you taking? That's going to have a big play in it as well. You know, if you've kind of tapered, that's going to help. If you kind of tapered off the methadone at least a little bit, that's going to help. But if you just taking a bunch and then you just stop taking it and just get on the Suboxone right away, well, we got to let that crap get out of our bodies. Cause, oh man, you don't want to go, well, yeah, of course you know, you don't want to go through, precipitated withdrawals, but man, it effing sucks, and it can just kind of be scary because you're thinking like, because it's like, what do I do to get out of this? I mean, you could take a lot of opiates and stuff and not get out of it. Start taking a bunch of morphine or something and maybe not get out of it for a while. So, just be advised, you need a freaking wait a long time. All right. V for victory. God bless and salute.